Hello. Is there anybody out there? It's been a while, guys. It's going to take me a long time or a little while to get used to this again. Can you just, if anyone's there, can you just let me know that you can actually hear me? Hi, Kim. Thanks for being here. Hi, Helen. Guys, some old names. Helen Rowley. How you doing? Like I say, it's been a long time um, since we've been here. Really, sounds good. That's good. Yeah, so we thought we'd just start dipping our toes back into the crazy world of YouTube, eh? And what a crazy world it is. Dear oh dear. Um, I'll just wait, see if a couple more come in, and then I'll just go through it. So basically, I was just gonna say hello, really, and just sort of go over Suzanne Morphew's case. It don't kind of look very good, Barry. I've got to say. Uh, Hi, Mary Gal. Hi, AJ. Yeah, it doesn't look very good. Uh, Barry, I mean, basically, he looks guilty as sin, doesn't he? He's been charged. It's going to trial in May, I believe. Um, and it's basically going to be a case of proving it, isn't it? It's going to be a case of the prosecution proving that he's done what he did. But I don't think it's going to be straightforward. I really don't. I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as people may think. Hey, Paula. He's certainly done his best to try and cover his tracks to try and get out of it. That's for sure. And it looks like he's tried to be clever. Putting his phone into airplane mode, trying to maybe fiddling with his truck computer by the look of it. Yeah, but he's not been clever enough. It's very difficult to be that clever. Hi, Tamara or Tamara. Yes, it's my name is Chris. Yeah. So, yeah, has anyone? I presume some of you have followed this case, Suzanne Morphew's case. I presume that most of you probably know about it. If you don't, then Suzanne went missing May 5th. It was Mother's Day 2020, which is unbelievably coming up to 2 years. And she's never been found. She's still never been found. Her phone's never been found either, as far as I know. And Barry, the husband, basically has now been charged, I think, 5 counts: murder, tampering with evidence, tampering with the body, and it's going to trial in May. I think that's right, May. I think I've moved it to Fremont County, actually, for reasons of they don't think they're going to be able to get a fair enough jury or a good enough jury in the county that it was in, Chaffee County. So, yeah, and there's just so much to this case. There's so many kind of angles to look at, details to look at. It's far from straightforward, and certainly when it goes to court, it's going to be far from straightforward in my eyes, anyway. Hi, Giggler. Yeah, I mean, I've still got sort of ongoing health issues, but I'm just going to sort of put that to the side and just sort of carry on as best I can. Really, I can't promise that I'm going to be here all the time, but I'll be here as much as I can, just to try and get the channel back up and running as well. I've had a little look around YouTube from what I see. It's just insanity, basically. Most part of it. There are some very good channels out there. Don't get me wrong, but there is a certain corner of YouTube which we kind of sit in or sat in, and just seems to have gone to the sewers. Really, I don't really understand, but the way to run a channel now seems to be just sit on here for 10 hours shouting and screaming, bashing other people, which is fine if that's what you want to do, but I don't think that's what everybody really wants to hear. So yeah, like you, Marigo, I always keep an open mind with regards to any case, but as it went along, and certainly when they released the affidavit came out, it sort of became very clear that something really fishy's gone on, and Barry's certainly been up to no good. So as I say, as it comes up to trial, it's going to be a case of proving, isn't it? And that isn't always straightforward. So it's going to be interesting. And just the dynamics as well of his daughter. I mean, I don't know, what do you think he's told his daughters? Because they obviously seem fully supportive of him. And I just find it really difficult to get my head around that side of it. They're always hand in hand with him when he goes into court. They always seem very supportive. And it just plays in my mind. Here's this father that looks like, allegedly has killed their mum. And there they are fully supporting him. It messes with my head, things like that. Yeah, they do. They really support him. They do. And I think Ali, you're probably right. I think he does probably have them brainwashed to a degree. But the trouble is, at the end of the day, he's their dad. They're not going to want to ever believe that their dad would be capable of something like that, are they? So God knows what he's told them. We don't know what he's told them about Suzanne either, about their mum. We just don't know, do we? Hi, Guernsey girl. So yeah, it's just there's all that going on as well. So it is very, very odd, and just trying to get my head around that is odd. So yeah, let me just see if I can operate StreamYard. So I thought what we just initially do is, I know you've probably seen them, most of you, just the new body cam videos that came out. We can just have a look if you like and just pick out some points from the video. Things that we know now when we watch the video, particularly when the bike was found, it all just seems even more staged than what we initially thought it was, right? Yeah, there's no way in hell when you look at it now that Suzanne ever took that bike out, that she ever come off of that bike. It was just a ridiculously staged attempt by Barry. I think that's quite clear now, isn't it? So let's have a look.
Van. Maybe see if you can get that up.
I'll just stop it a few ways through, just point things out. Obviously, there's nothing around the bike. There's no flattened areas, is there, where somebody may have fallen off. There's no torn clothing. There's no blood. And I think it looked quite apparent to the officers, to be honest, that it was staged. Even the hill's not that high, even if you look at that hill. But yeah, good try, Barry. I mean, you did your best there, but didn't really do that great a job on that.
The road and then check the serial number or call the husband and see what kind of bike she has. Somebody chippy buddy. Can you try to call the husband and see what type of bike she has? Right now I'm staring at a Santa Cruz blue in color.
We'll do 9:35.
Getting a lot of flack for that, right? Grabbing the bike. I honestly don't know why they chose that. Obviously, at that point, they don't really know what's going on. as far as they know. I guess it's just a missing person. But, you know, should they have touched that bike? Probably not. Hasn't even been, you know, properly processed yet, has it? Nobody's took any photos of it, as far as I know. It's not been properly processed in any way. So I don't know why they decided to grab it like that and put their hands all over it. But there you go.
Yeah, because the rim's not gonna. I'm just looking at the rim. Not bent.
What is it? Warm clear on Kev. Just say morning.
Rick, maybe be careful where you touch it too. Just stay on there. But not to touch it too much in case it needs to be felt. But you know what I mean? Yeah. Something's up with this front tire still. Okay. Said something's up with this front tire.
So yeah, I think it's pretty evident. As we all know now, you know, this was obviously a staged event. Other things have come to light since then. You know, the fact that she always used to take her sunglasses with her, like a hydration bottle, which she didn't take. They were found still in her car. It also came to light that she always actually rode in the afternoons. She would never go normally out in the morning. So this whole thing look shady now anyway. And as you can see, I mean, it just looks extremely staged. There's no other way to put it. And I think they were pretty suspicious early on. So I just asked, is he still out on bail? As I understand, he is still out on bail. As far as I know, he's probably got an ankle monitor or something. He's been told to stay where he is. But yeah, as far as I know, he is still out on bail. I mean, there's been some such shady stuff that's gone on since. I'm still trying to play catch up with everything, but there was even his new girlfriend or his new person that he's seeing now. Apparently went to the old house to pick up some parcel or something from the doorstep, which is just so shady. It really is. But yeah, so a lot's come to light that's it's basically prove that this just was completely staged.
Are you?
Okay, so I'm the daughter's boyfriend.
Okay.
So this is Miles. This is one of the daughter's boyfriends. Macy's boyfriend. I understand Macy is the younger daughter. Mallory is the older daughter. This is Macy's boyfriend. He was one of the first people to go to the house, I believe, after the neighbor.
Okay.
And I'm here.
Is this your truck?
That's my truck.
And his dad's there and his sister's there.
Never mind, I got something here. So you haven't seen the mom at all, have you?
Yep, so the 2 daughters are gone right now at the moment. The dad is in Denver for a job, and they text her because of Mother's Day, and they haven't heard. The text never went through, like it never delivered since this morning. And she's a big mountain biker. She normally takes her car, and her bike's normally in the back of that. It's gone.
Was this open when you came here?
The neighbor was here that opened it, and then she shut it, and she went back to her house. Her house is right over there.
Okay.
And then I came back and I opened it to come in the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you looked in the house for
I
her?
have, yep.
All right. You looked through everything?
Yes.
You haven't found her?
No.
Okay. All right. What time did you get here?
6 o'clock, and then I went all the way up Fusis, because she's rode up there. And I just drove the main road, couldn't find her, and then there's a couple spots that I could check, like trails and stuff. But I wanted to come back here to just, like, check back in and stuff.
Okay. Has she ever gone up 225?
Colorado Trail right there?
Like, you know the big hill once you come off the highway?
Well, she hasn't, and I haven't checked there yet because that climb at the beginning is really hard.
Yeah.
And I think that it would be out of characteristic for her to do that. But I mean, someone needs to go there, I think.
Why would you say it was, like, on carry?
Well, because it's kind of a crazy...
Okay.
It's kind of a crazy climb to get up there. It's like not really rideable. You got to push your bike before you can start riding.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have a driver's license on you?
It's in my truck. And here's my dad pulling up.
That's your dad?
That's my dad right there.
Okay.
Seems like a pretty cool dude, actually, Miles. Really helpful. Of course, as we know, the cameras conveniently weren't working. It's been suggested that maybe because Suzanne was worried that he might be stalking her, and so it was suggested maybe, since some people suggest maybe Suzanne was responsible for the cameras not working. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know. I'd really like to know the backstory actually on the camera situation. You know, how long they've been out of action. Was anyone in contact with the camera company? You know, how that came about. That'd be interesting. As we know, with Chris Watts, he was obviously trying to. He was fiddling with his cameras, doing, he's phoning up the company and what have you. So that'd be interesting to know. Thank you, Giggler, for becoming a member, by the way.
S211.
Good.
All right, so this is one of the daughter's boyfriend, and he's saying it'd be out of ordinary for her to travel up that way when we found the bike.
Wait, where did they find her bike?
Yeah.
Do we know what she was wearing in reference to the jacket?
Do you know what she usually wears when she goes riding?
She has a couple different sets of clothing in terms of what she wears riding, so I'm not sure exactly what she put on today.
Okay, what are some of the outfits she wears?
Blue shorts, like turquoise blue shorts.
Can you pull her up on Instagram?
Yeah, she has a blue helmet, which she always wears.
Okay.
Like turquoise blue helmet.
You guys have her bike, though.
Yeah, we do.
But not her.
Not her.
Okay.
Where'd you find her bike?
Off of that road that I was asking you about.
Oh,
where you said it was
in
on
Chavano.
Just right out here on the road.
Right out there, okay.
Right where you found.
Where that road takes off up the...
That's her helmet.
She wear any jackets?
She probably would have had.
What kind of jackets does she wear?
I mean, a windbreaker.
A windbreaker?
I don't know what color.
I saw her.
I mean, we don't even know what time she left today.
Yeah.
But they have cameras.
They have cameras, but they've been out of commission for a while.
Hey, 11, can you get a list of some of the
So her
trails
bike
that
was
she
close to the
went?
road?
That way, if we get search and rescue out here, they can focus on those.
Yeah, I'm working on that right now.
Let's get that.
What were some of the other trails you said? She rides up Booses and...
Yep, she rides up Fusis. Normally when she takes her car, she goes down to, what's that road called? That's right down at the pay. Goes up to Norfolk Lake.
Okay, what about around here? Since she didn't take her car, she clearly left from
So
here.
she would have gone up Fusis, I assume, or to the
No,
Colorado
across,
Trail.
if you go straight across the
There's
highway,
that
the
trail.
Colorado Trail's
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
So you can go up that ridge there,
Yeah.
and that gets on the Colorado Trail.
And did you just let him know about it? Do you live in the area?
No, he dates her.
Right.
Or, yeah,
so he called you and let you know?
Well, we were talking to their daughters on a road trip. We were talking to them down in town.
Okay.
And then I said, yeah, why don't you run up there and see if you can't find her. And so then once he'd been gone a while, I drove up here.
I know this is a weird question, but do Barry and Suzanne get along pretty well?
You can answer honestly.
You know, I think they've had some problems.
Okay.
Yeah, in the past.
Like, just normal.
Normal husband and wife type deal.
Oh, they like talk about separating or anything
they
like
have,
that?
yeah.
Okay.
I would, yeah.
And you know this through
Macy.
Yeah, I'm
Macy.
very close with her.
Yeah, it's
daughter.
important that you, at this
I know,
point
I
you
know,
tell
I
him
know.
anything that
Yeah.
you know like that.
Yeah, and he is in Denver for a work job. He's a landscaper, and he's got a big job in Denver. So that's where he is at right now.
Okay.
And Macy and the older sister Mallory are on a road trip. Where are they?
I'll just pause it there a moment. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, Miles was up front there, as we now know. You know, there wasn't a happy relationship, and it hadn't been for a long time. You know, that's all come to light now. It's all very familiar stuff, isn't it? That we've seen in other cases. You know, that all these things sort of seem to come together. Yeah, they're obviously not happy. It always fascinates me, you know, looking at trying to see if there's any level of premeditation to what they may have done. It's kind of difficult in this case. It possibly looks like Barry maybe snapped. Obviously, you know, it's clear that they were both having affairs. You know, there's no point in saying that they weren't. You know, Suzanne was having an affair, as we now know, with a guy called Jeff. Barry was most likely up to no good as well. There's no actual evidence of that at the time, but Suzanne was suspecting it. You know, so that's all come to light since. So obviously that gives, you know, huge motive for Barry to have killed her. So this is now Barry turning up, coming back from his job in Broomfield, where he'd be most of the day, I believe. And I don't believe he even tried to ring Suzanne the whole time that she thought she was missing. I think he just sent her a couple of texts, said call me or something like that. I'll have to double check that, but I don't believe he ever actually tried calling her once from the moment that he knew she disappeared. So here comes Barry's moment. This is Barry's moment now. He's turned up. You know, can he put on a good enough act?
Where is it? Where's the bike? Oh, it's right there.
Where was it?
It was like just right down here in this little embankment right here. So I take this, dude. We got the husband on scene here with me.
I'm here with my daughter. She's at Harry's house.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, you can go down there.
Was it a crash?
I mean, the bike looked, the way it was laying, it kind of looked like it, but there's not really that much damage to the bike. That's the thing.
Lion?
Yeah, it was just like
Was
lying.
that no lion? Mountain
I didn't see anything that would
I didn't see anything, and they're not letting us go over the side
because we're getting attracted.
dogs. We're bringing dogs.
Where'd you find her bike? Right
Just
here?
right down in here,
Do you know
yeah.
where my husband and son are?
They
Yeah.
probably went down to Puna,
Yeah,
down to the
so-
We're in
house.
my house.
Okay.
And Bear, just I know this is tough right now. Do you mind if I just get your driver's license for our record stuff? Search and rescue's on their way.
Yeah, someone said hands in his pockets. It's like, come on, Barry, get your hands out of your pockets. You know, all you've done is suggested is it was at a mountain line, did she have a crash? No suggestion of have you found my wife, have you found anything of my wife's, anything like that. Just standing there, hands in pockets. You know, was it a lion? Was it a crash? You know, don't really look that bothered.
Hey Barry, and then I'll probably need your help to kind of tell me some of the trails that she frequents so we can backtrack some of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
Oh man. And she's an avid mountain biker, right?
It's just started. About
That was my wife, I would be frantic.
And just for confirmation, you left this morning at 5.
she was sound asleep.
Okay. And she told you she was going to go bike riding?
She bikes every day, yeah.
Okay.
She said she's going to bike when she gets up.
So she was asleep in the bed when you left. Did you say bye to her or anything?
No, she's sound asleep.
Okay.
Always leave her.
So the last time you probably actually saw her was this morning. That was it, right?
Yeah, I've been in Broomfield. I got a big job up there. I've been there all day. Working.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, you need to calm down.
No, it's all good, man. We're doing the best. We got
Did
a
they
lot of
check
people
the house?
coming.
Did they,
Yeah,
they
we got,
look through the house?
yeah, they got the house. So what we're doing is we're keeping people out of the house because if the dog comes, they want to get a scent from out of the house.
Yeah.
So they don't want to pollute that scent. So that way we can start trying. And I walked up this. Like I said, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Nothing looked like.
I wonder if she was hurt, if she could climb up the hill.
But that's the thing. When we came here, still was daylight, right? So if she was right here, somebody would have easily, you know what I mean? Just because it was like literally like right down. It was this. I mean, if we saw it coming in, somebody would have definitely seen it too, you know?
So,
Hey, how's it going, man?
do you want us to stage down at that residence or?
So hold on, let me give this to
Yeah.
and I'll get right with you.
Okay, no worries.
Hey, Barry. Besides, I know the bike was here, but what are some of the paths that, or like the trails, like cases?
She rides this road. She rides up to. She rides up to the top, and then she goes up to Foose's.
Okay,
If there's no
Foose's.
snow, she'll go up high on Foose's. She's went down this one a couple times.
Down this one here too?
Yeah.
Okay. So double check Foose's over there too, because I think
Well,
was
see
it
if
Miles?
there's
I think
bikes.
Miles. Yeah, I know. We just want to double check everything. So yeah.
Did anybody look for foot tracks on the road?
I haven't seen anything really, but
Like people tracks? We're lying.
I didn't really notice. But I won't lie, I'm not like an expert tracker or something, you know. Yeah, so my partner is actually the one that saw and picked it up, but it was like the top of it was weird because it feels like the top of the bike was like up this way.
So maybe flipped.
Maybe, I don't know, man.
But the problem is,
Go ahead.
what's the thing about 4 o'clock in the morning? Was that somebody on the phone?
5 o'clock. Oh yeah, so we pinged the phone and it said the last activity was at 4 in the morning.
Up here?
It's off of the Ponzi Tower.
Yeah, that was another massive woe moment, I expect, for them as well. Her phone last pinged at 4:30 that morning, and it was basically in that area. So, and her phone's never been found. Her phone, I believe, is still out there somewhere, probably wherever he put it, whatever he's done with it. I think they said it was like 11.5 miles west of Poncha Springs, which basically puts it right in the area of where his house is, where a helmet was found. The phone's possibly still out there somewhere, and who knows what she may have recorded on that phone. You just don't know, do you? But will they ever find a phone? I don't know.
So there's not any specific order. Hey, could you not touch the bike with your hands, please?
Hey guys!
That's the husband. Because I've been wearing gloves. I've been trying not to. So.
Put it in your. Can you fit it in your car?
No, but I could try to. My car is with the back is filled with tag gear and
Gotcha.
everything.
Okay.
Yeah, and the bike was found right there. See that little pink thing right in there. And you can see it on our initial body camera too when we found it, right over there, right there by like that tree. So
I'll see that.
I didn't seem to like distraught and freaked out. He's kind of going back and like, why didn't they check the recruit? I'm like, you know, we're trying to do the best we can. And this guy, I guess his name's George Davis. He showed up on his own. I guess Barry. Hey Barry, are you guys? Are you? Where are you guys headed? Okay. Here soon. I'm gonna probably have you come and talk with us more. All right. Thanks, man. And sir, when we go inside, let's just go directly to where something that she's worn today, and let's not touch anything just for in case.
Okay. Is this unlocked?
Yes.
I believe they're just going in to try and find an item for probably the dogs or something to pick up a scent, I would imagine.
Which way would that be? This way? No.
Anything down there?
These are all hers right here.
Yeah.
Have you got a plastic bag?
Yeah.
Or a paper bag?
I'd say the sports bra is probably good. I mean, it's direct contact with this.
Look at the way he walks. He's just so leisurely.
No, we should just be fine with one.
Yeah, that's true. When he goes in, doesn't once call out.
Turn on the exterior lights.
Doesn't even go to look around anywhere. You know, he's not frantically looking
All of them
around.
there?
Yes, you are secure.
Because of course he knows exactly where she is. He knows she's not there. He knows what happened.
Alright, thank you. Hey, Anthony. Can I speak to you over there once we get
Sure.
back?
Your club right there.
So you realize what you grabbed, right? Those shorts.
Yeah.
Those are for mountain biking.
Yeah.
Like the padded shorts you can wear when you go mountain biking.
Yeah.
So that I'm curious.
Yeah, I saw that.
But they were bike shorts.
Yeah.
And, oh yeah. So I got them, you know, she's biking, so they're all sweaty, you know what I mean? Yeah, I know it's a good thing.
Oh, sidetrack though. When you took your
Right, that's pretty much it for that video. But yeah, they're basically just saying here that they noticed, you know, that Suzanne's bicycle shorts, gloves, I think, were in the wardrobe as well, in the closet where they went. Of course, you could have had more than one pair, but obviously they're already suspicious. You can tell. And yeah, there are Chris Watts vibes about it, aren't there? It's that pattern of behaviour. It's that kind of cold, reserved, backed off, defensive kind of behavior, you know, probably trying to contain his anxiety and what have you. So he's going to come across like that because he's trying to keep control of himself, you know, kind of keep control of the fact that he's probably bricking himself. But yeah, there's no real urgency about him. He's not, but somebody said there, he didn't, when he went in the house, didn't even bother calling out, didn't bother going looking around. That'd be the first thing you'd do, really, wasn't it? You'd search the house yourself. You're not just going to go off the word of officers. That's your wife. You're gonna go looking around, aren't you? See what you can find. Did none of that. He just, you know, leisurely walked around. He just didn't want to be there, did he? So basically, that's what this case has become. Really, it's become picking out Barry's lies. I mean, he's done so many inconsistencies in his story. You know, I can't believe I kind of not defended this guy, but kind of sat on the fence a little bit at the start. There's no way I'm going to do that now, because you're just going to look ridiculous if you do, because there's just so much going against the guy. And as I say, it just, it plays on my mind, the fact that he's got his daughters that are supporting him, and he's allegedly, killed their mother. And like I say, we don't know what he's told them. But the whole thing is just, it's just a horrible situation, isn't it? It really is. But there's only one thing that really matters, obviously, and that's, it is getting justice for Suzanne and making sure that the right person goes to prison for what's happened, and the story comes out, and her story's told on what happened to her, and the person that killed her, which it certainly looks like, allegedly, her husband Barry, is brought to justice. That's all that really matters now. But like I say, these cases don't always go as you think they're going to go. And so much has happened since. It's impossible for me to try and condense this into one video. But what we can do now, we can just have a look at they've released some public exhibits. Basically exhibits that will be shown in the trial. So we can just have a nosy through these. I don't know, some of you probably seen them, some of you may not have, but they all kind of have little stories attached to them. So this was basically, this is the last known photo of Suzanne when she was alive. This was a selfie that she sent to her boyfriend Jeff, and that was Saturday afternoon, day before she disappeared, on the Saturday the 9th. And I believe it was at 2 p.m. I can't remember the exact time. It was around 2 p.m. And this was around the time that Barry was returning home. They've tied that together, the times of his phone, his truck, the time that Suzanne sent this. So she sent this. He was on his way home at that time and arrived home shortly after. What it's increasingly looking like is that he arrived home. They've either had an argument, or he's seen something, maybe seen messages that she sent, and he's flipped. This is a story of the prosecution. This is not, stuff that I'm just throwing out there. This is what the prosecution are putting forward, basically. He's flipped and he's killed her, and then he's tried to hide his tracks. Obviously, he's hidden Suzanne somewhere. God knows what he's done to her. Remains. But going by what he's done to try and get himself out of this, he's probably done the best possible job that he can, and no one's ever going to find her. Hi, Firefly. So I'm not ignoring chat. I'm sort of keeping an eye on it. Hi, Glam Dolly. I've seen you around for a long time. I've just realised that Giggler is JD. So hi, JD. Coming in incognito. Hi, Tamara. Hi, Helen Mowley. Okay, so yeah, that is the last known proof of life, they call it, of Suzanne. Okay, this is basically just showing where the house was. Little yellow dot on the right hand side at the bottom is the house. Little yellow dot is where her bicycle was found, I believe, and the top yellow dot was where her helmet was found. And this is just pictures of where that area where her bicycle helmet was found. It was a few days later that her bicycle helmet was found. Interestingly, Barry actually went that way, the direction that her helmet was found. He didn't need to go that way. As he hit that highway, he should have just took a right, gone on to Broomfield. His truck told him that he actually took a left and drove quite a few miles up and then turned around, which he didn't initially tell them, but he did that. Of course, that places him right where her helmet was found. He went that direction. He could have quite easily have thrown that out the window or whatever, tried to dispose of it there, then turned around and headed on to Broomfield. He had no reason to go in that direction of where her helmet was found. So that's quite incriminating evidence against him. Same kind of picture. That was Suzanne's helmet. Just had a note in there, contact number, emergency number, what have you. Yeah, that slide of Suzanne's vehicle. So in there, they found her sunglasses, her water bottle, things that she would have always normally taken with her when she went on her rides. Also, she would, as Mars pointed out earlier in that video, she would always normally drive to the start of a trail and then set off on her bike. In this case, of course, she didn't. Her car was in the garage still with those items inside. So again, something that she would never do. That's the hydration pack that she'd always take with her. This is another kind of key piece of evidence. I believe this was Mallory's bed. I hope I'm right. It was Mallory's bed was stripped. Again, familiar, isn't it? Bed stripped. How many times have we heard that on cases where the bedding's been stripped? One of the daughter's beddings was stripped. It was in the dryer, I believe. And they also found a casing of a tranquilizer dart in the dryer. Again, this is just one of the crazy points to this case. There are many things that make you go, and that they were found in the dryer, the sheets. So yeah, again, that makes you think, where have I seen that before, doesn't it? Okay, just when you're thinking of everything, it was found that Suzanne had a spy pen, and on the advice of one of her friends, she was actually given a spy pen to record her conversations with Barry. This obviously is going back a long way. You know, her friends knew that things obviously weren't going well, and they were obviously worried for Suzanne. You know, I think it's quite clear that Barry was quite controlling and narcissistic towards her. I think that's all going to come out, you know, in the trial. This is no mystery. And her friend was concerned for her safety and got her a spy pen. And I believe they got recordings off of that. That's actually how they traced her boyfriend, Jeff, I believe. I think it took them 6 months because all they had was a first name. But they found him, and he was married with 6 kids. Obviously, you know, he didn't want to know anything about it after that, but I think he's probably going to have to testify. So, Barry's garage with all of his trophies. Again, there's the sort of just highlighting there. They found one of these in the dryer. This is part of what the prosecution believe is that he actually came. This is their story that they're going with in a nutshell. Barry came home, got out of his truck. They believe that he left the truck door open, whether he was trying to be quiet or what have you, but then went into the house, confronted Suzanne, shot her with a tranquilizer gun, and then obviously, you know, the rest is we know. She was never seen after that. Probably chased her around the house. There's another slide in a minute. Yeah, there's the dryer. It's just highlighting there. If you can see sort of in the middle of the picture, the plastic cap. I think he explained that he's claimed that he shot a buck or something on his property. There seems to be a lot of animals associated with Barry's alibis. You know, he seemed to shoot a chipmunk. I think he claimed that he shot a chipmunk. Claimed that he shot a chipmunk. That's a bit of a tongue twister. That day when he got home. That's his reason for shooting that tranquilizer dart. And he also claimed, I think, that he shot a deer or something else. Again, that's just showing you there the cap that they found. They're just comparing it. And there's a lot of data surrounding his truck. I'm going to try and go into that in another video because there's quite a lot of it to break down. But yeah, things don't add up. You know, he said that apparently they had this perfect evening. This is his story. They had this perfect evening when he came home. You know, they ended up having sex and everything was just great. They had steaks on the grill, and it was the best time that, you know, they had for a long time. But his truck, the data from his truck tells a different story, and his phone. But yeah, his truck doors were opening, sort of 3-4 in the morning. There was activity in his truck, opening and closing of his doors multiple times. He put his phone in airplane mode, very early morning, 4:30 or something like that, or took it out of. Sorry, he put it in airplane mode the afternoon before, and then took it out at kind of 4:30 the following morning. Inside of his truck that apparently he'd cleaned out. He claimed to officers that he cleaned out his truck. He made numerous trash bin runs the following day, which kind of reminds me of another case, Dulo's case, I think it was. I don't know if you remember that, where he took remains around all these various bins around the city. There's a possibility it looks like Barry was doing something similar. He made a lot of trash bin runs the following day around near a McDonald's, near the work site where he was working. Again, it was going to take a long time to go through all of that, so I'll try and go through that in another video. Suzanne's handbag, all her driver's license, ID, everything like that. Stuff that you'd need, obviously, if you're going to run away. Money, ID card, everything like that. And this was interesting. This was damage done to, I don't know if you can see that, but down the frame of the bedroom door in the, I think it was the master bedroom. Huge crack down the side of the door frame. I spoke to the previous owners. They said that wasn't there. It was never been there before. Yeah, they found that. Suggestive of the door being kicked in, maybe. Maybe someone's the other side of the door. They've jammed the door. Someone's kicked the door in. It's a possibility. It's certainly been hit with some force. There's no way that would crack like that without being hit with some force. That's for sure. They found an bullet, .22 ammunition bullet on the master bed, I believe. Whether that's connected in any way, I don't know, but they did note that. And I think they found a gun casing underneath the bed. Obviously, Barry had numerous guns. It was obviously a book that Suzanne was reading. Not sure what they mean by this, but they took pictures of the fireplace. I don't know what that is. Does anyone know what that is? What they're trying to highlight there in the fire? I couldn't really tie this to anything when I went through the affidavit and everything. I couldn't really tie this to anything. I don't quite know what these pictures are in there for. But if anyone knows, please tell me. And of course, now they were going to take pictures of Barry's hands and stuff. So, you know, there's some markings on his hands. Of course, it's difficult to know exactly where these came from. But more of interest to me was these scratches on his arms. Are they fingernail scratches? Would you say they're fingernail scratches? The spacing kind of suggests that they possibly are, doesn't it? And they said that these had kind of been healing for quite a few days. He tried to claim that they were fresh from job that he'd been doing. But they said that they'd been healing for quite a few days. So are they defensive wounds? Okay, so back to it's burned pieces of paper. Burned her journal. Okay. Oh, right, her journal was missing. Okay. That kind of makes sense. See, this is where you guys can help me out, you see. This is just a two-way thing. This is good. I think they're just showing pictures of his. This is another thing. He had a I forget what you call them now, like a digger type thing, and had a big bucket on it, and he'd had a new blade put on that. I've only just remembered, but I can show comments. There you go. I've just remembered. Told you I was going to be really rusty. I'm just going through them. They're not great pictures. This is Barry. This is Barry on his way home. The 9th of May, day before, 2:27 p.m. I think they're just proving that he was travelling back. Let's just go through again. I think that's the same kind of photo. Suzanne's bike, of course, what they recovered. I think the front brake was locked up or something, wasn't it? But again, there was no substantial damage to the bike. You know, the frame wasn't bent, the rim wasn't bent, there wasn't any real scratches on it. Nothing like that. Nothing that would suggest a kind of serious accident. I mean, going down a hill like that, there was nothing. There was nothing. Hang some folders, yeah. I'll be really interested to know what they're actually focusing on that picture. Again, handlebars, no damage to the handlebars. This was a rifle. They're just showing the size. And this is one of the texts that they believe kicked it all off. So this was on the 6th of May, I believe. This was 4 days before she went missing. And they found this text. I think they found it on Barry's phone, I think. Something that I think he may have actually just swiped off of his screen, not sort of purposefully deleted or anything. Basically it says, I'm done. This was from Suzanne to Barry. I'm done. I couldn't care less what you're up to and have been for years. We just need to figure this out civilly. So that I believe was one of the key moments in when everything started to change. Clearly Suzanne was done with the whole relationship, And I think from that point on, she was home alone with Barry, I believe, from the 6th. I think that's when the daughters went for their, they went off for their road trip from the 6th of May. So I believe they were alone from the 6th up until the 10th. This picture of Suzanne, which you'd always post, detail, the mountain that she was going on or the trail that she was going on. Oh, she was a high school friend. On how, what's the sort of mood around the? Do you still live around that area, or I was wondering what the mood is? They're coming up to trials. I know they've moved it, haven't they? Out of I suppose you're from Indiana, aren't you? That's where she was originally from, wasn't it? And then they've just highlighted, obviously, the text that she was having with her friend and with Jeff, the guy that she was seeing. It's quite clear, obviously, she wasn't happy. She wanted out. Barry would always creep his way back in. I think she's suggesting that he manipulated the children. He always seemed to get his way. Unfortunately, the text is too small on the screen. I can't read these. But let's just go through. Let me get to. I think there's some more. Let me just get to the end. So this is one of the trash bin areas, I believe, that Barry went to. There was numerous ones. Of course, the next day he went to this job in Broomfield that he'd planned to go later that afternoon, but he ended up going at 5 a.m. without telling anyone. I believe it was a very simple job. It only took like 15-20 minutes work. I think he was there. But this is where he went to. It was a Holiday Express. I think it was in Broomfield, wasn't it, near Denver? Something like a 5-hour round trip. But he didn't tell anybody. He didn't tell any of his workers that he was going to be leaving early that morning. And he told them later on that they were needed there. So they've got Barry on the hotel footage. One thing he claimed also is that he never took any documents into the hotel room with him. We'll see in a minute that they had him. They've got him on film with a handful of documents. Also, he said that when the neighbour called him, he was busy at the job site. He wasn't. He was in his hotel room. They've got that on camera as well. So it's just one of many lies that he's made. His story is becoming... It just becomes more unstuck every time he opens his mouth. I just think Barry snapped. I think he snapped. I absolutely think he snapped that morning. Well, I'm just trying to work out whether he actually premeditated it. Like Chris Watts or something. Whether he actually had plans of what he was going to do. Because of course that then adds a whole new level to the whole story, doesn't it? So this was where that day at Broomfield, he went to a nearby McDonald's and started chucking stuff away in bins. He went to 3 different trash bins, I believe. There's nothing suspicious about that, right? And they're just highlighting here where he went when he was in Broomfield at the hotel. And you can see there, oh no, I didn't take any documents into the hotel with me. And there he is with a massive wad of documents. Of course, one of his workmates, was it Jeff Puckett or one of them, said that there was a load of files and papers in his room. What's he got there? Is that insurance documents and that kind of stuff? And why did he lie? Why did he say that he didn't have anything? But yeah, it is going to be interesting, really. I'm interested to see how the defense as well, how they're going to try and, what's their angle going to be on this kind of stuff. Because he's clearly, he's clearly been telling lies. There's a lot of massive holes in his story. So it's going to be interesting to see how they approach this, what their approach is going to be. And they're all kind of the same slides again. He's walking around with bags of trash. And this is just before he left to go back, I believe. He started bringing some tools. I think it was like 2 shovels or something into the hotel to try and make his story more believable, I think. But yeah, that's the crux of the story we're left with now. Is basically uncovering all of Barry's clear lies. You know, he's clearly told a lot of them, and that's going to be obviously the prosecution's job to prove all of what he's saying. You know, most of what he's saying wasn't true, and there are loads of points. Let's have a look. I've got a few put down here. Of course, he had the Broomfield trip that day, which he scheduled at the last minute, didn't tell anybody. Well, that's a good point, Alan. Yeah, he could have been cleaning. He could have been cleaning those tools. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, he had access to a load of tools, machinery, all that kind of stuff. So much has been said. When I was first started covering this case, before I sort of had to take some time out, you know, it was even suggested that possibly he buried Suzanne's remains under a tree, because he placed a couple of trees somewhere, I believe, dug out and planted some trees. Of course, we had all of that with the dogs as well, didn't we? The cadaver scents being located by the dogs. Where was that? Was that in Poncho Springs or somewhere where he was working? Wasn't it one of his properties? They had all of that as well. The dogs were hit on various sites, didn't they? Yeah, quite forgotten all about that. That's insane. Yes, we didn't call his workers the next day until later on to say that they needed to be there. He never once called Suzanne from when she was missing. He only sent her, I think it was like 2 or 3 text messages. Never once called her, knowing that she was missing. As we know, her sunglasses, her Camelback, you know, her hydration thing was still in the car. Things she should always take with her. She'd always drive to the trail as well. At that time, she didn't. There was no damage to the bike. Of course, he comes out with a mountain lion suggestion straight away, trying to get that in there. Yeah, there was no real effort for him to go looking. It didn't seem from when he turned up. He was just keen on putting out theories of what happened. Yeah, I don't know about that, Glam Dolly. I don't know what the dogs hit on in the house, if they hit on anything. I don't actually know. It says there's so much to go over on this case. I don't know the answers to that. Yeah, I believe they hit on the on his call it a digger. I can't think of the word for it, but you know, his thing with the huge bucket on, the thing that he had a blade put on. I think they hit on that, I believe. Of course, he was fiddling with his phone. Of course, there was the truck all night as well, with the doors opening in the early hours when he said, obviously, that he was asleep. But yeah, there's hundreds of points. I need to put them all in a video, but there were loads. There were hundreds. But yeah, as we say, it's May. I believe the trial is set for May. I think they had, I think the original judge, didn't they pull the original judge out, I believe? And I think one of the CBI agents on the case left. Linda Stanley, the DA, I believe she's still there, and I believe that she's still overseeing this, but there was some furore about her as well. So I think she appeared on YouTube, didn't she? People were saying how wrong that was, the DA doing that. All of that's happened as well. Of course, there was Barry voting on the election in his wife's name. That as well. He's been charged for that. That's obviously a lesser charge, though. Yeah, there's just so much happened. It's trying to condense it is just really difficult. But yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. It's certainly something that I'm going to be following, and I'm going to try and sort of piece all this together in bits as we go along up to the trial. So if this is a case you're interested in, then stick around. As I say, it's impossible to condense it all into one show or one video because there's just so many aspects to it. So this case and Letitia Stout's case as well, which I believe is coming up in the next few months as well, will be another one that I'm going to be looking at. So it's kind of those two which I aim to focus on for the moment anyway. Absolutely done with anything Watts. Can't believe people still, after nearly 4 years, sit around talking about that every night. I think if you sit around talking about a closed case that's nearly 4 years old, every night of your life, then you seriously need help, because that's a really unhealthy obsession to be doing that. In my eyes, anyway. I can't believe people still do that. But yeah, those are the two cases that I'm going to be looking at. So yeah, stick around. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't want to make it long. I just wanted to dip my toes back into YouTube, to be honest. I find the whole thing a little bit nerve-wracking coming back on here after all this time, but and just trying to piece together everything on here. So, but I hope it sounds all right. As I say, I will be around. I don't know how often I'm going to be on, but I'll be trying to sort of put videos together and stuff like that as best I can. One thing you won't ever get on here is drama. Just not interested in it. Don't do it. Waste of time. Seems to be the way nowadays on YouTube. It's just to run a drama channel, which I don't. Some people like it. Obviously, it's not for me. But it's definitely a clear divide now between true crime and drama. They seem to be in the same corner of YouTube, but somehow seem to have got merged together. So now you've just got channels of drama and drama shouting and screaming at creator upon creator, and I just don't get it. I'm just not interested in it. I haven't got time for it. So, if you just want somewhere just to come and have a friendly chat and just talk about true crime cases, then, please stick around. So that's what it's going to be about. So yeah, so I'm gonna hop off. So I hope you found it interesting. I say I'm going to put a lot of these details, about the case into more detailed videos, so people know what's happening, and anyone new to the case or going forward, leading up to the trial, can sort of help piece things together, because there is a lot to put together, really. Just when you think you know everything, you don't. There's 100 things you don't know or you've forgotten about. It's crazy. There's just so much to this case, so many different aspects and angles and bits of evidence and all sorts. So we'll try and put it all together, so when it comes to trial, we know what's going on, and as we listen in and we get the summaries, we know what they're talking about. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. So yeah, it's good to be back. Yeah, it's nice to see some familiar faces. As you can see, you've got Deb and Kim looking after you. They'll be around, So yeah, if you just want somewhere to come and chat and just learn about cases, then hopefully you'll decide to come back. So yeah, well, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll speak to you on the next video. Thank you.